is Jonathan Culbertson, and I'm the compliance manager at InCheck, and this is InCheck's Compliance Update Vlog. For the December 2022 edition of InCheck's Compliance Update Vlog, I will be reviewing some of the notable legal updates that took place over the course of 2022. Today's updates will be in regard to pay transparency and marijuana laws. We will move at a quick pace, as my goal is simply to bring certain updates to your attention so that you can take them back to your internal team and legal counsel to understand them more completely. As such, today's discussion is not meant to be comprehensive, and instead I will only be providing brief high-level summaries. Okay, let's get started with some of the notable pay transparency laws that were passed in 2022. California legislature passed California Senate Bill 1162. The bill amends California's equal pay law to require employers with 15 or more employees to include the pay scale for a position in any job posting. The law goes into effect January 1st, 2023. New York City amended the New York City Human Rights Law to require employers include the minimum and maximum salary or hourly compensation for a position in their job advertisements. The law took effect on November 1st, 2022. Likewise, New York State passed Senate Bill S9427A, which would amend the New York labor law to require employers to disclose a minimum and maximum annual salary or hourly range in job advertisements. The bill is pending, as it has yet to be signed by the governor. If signed by the governor, the law will go into effect 270 days after being signed. And Washington amended the Washington Equal Pay and Opportunities Act to require employers to disclose in each job posting the wage scale and salary range and a general description of all the benefits and other compensation to be offered to the applicant. The law takes effect on January 1st, 2023. Okay, now let's look at some legal updates in regard to marijuana that took place over the course of 2022. California passed Assembly Bill 2188, which makes it unlawful for an employer to discriminate against a person in hiring or termination if the discrimination is based upon, one, the person's use of cannabis off the job and away from the workplace, or two, if the discrimination is based upon an employer-required drug screening test that has found the person to have non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites in their hair, blood, urine, or other bodily fluids. The law will go into effect on January 1st, 2024. Over to Kentucky. Kentucky governor issued Executive Order 2022-798, which legalized medical marijuana. Specifically, the executive order grants a full, complete, and conditional pardon to any and all persons who are accused of possessing marijuana under KRS 218A.142 if certain requirements are satisfied, one of which requires the individual shall produce a written certification by a healthcare provider that shows that the individual has been diagnosed with a medical condition that is listed in the executive order. The executive order becomes effective on January 1st, 2023. Maryland passed a constitutional amendment which legalized recreational marijuana. Notably, though, it does not appear that the amendment nor the accompanying legislation addressed recreational marijuana use in relation to employment. That amendment takes effect July 1st, 2023. Mississippi passed the Mississippi Medical Cannabis Act, or MMCA. The MMCA legalized medical cannabis for individuals with debilitating medical condition. It is of note that the MMCA states that it should not be construed to prohibit any employer from taking an adverse employment action against an individual as a result of that individual's medical use of cannabis. The law took effect on February 2, 2022. Missouri passed Amendment 3 to the Missouri Constitution, which made key changes to Missouri's stance on recreational and medical marijuana. First, Amendment 3 legalizes recreational marijuana. However, it doesn't appear that Amendment 3 provides employment protections for recreational marijuana. And second, and most notably, Amendment 3 added employment protections for medical marijuana users. Specifically, Amendment 3 generally prohibits discrimination against a person based on, one, the person's status as a qualifying patient who has a valid identification card, including the person's legal use of lawful marijuana product off the employer's premises during non-working hours, and two, a positive drug test for marijuana components or metabolites of a person who has a valid qualifying patient identification card. The amendment took effect December 8th, 2022. Rhode Island passed the recreational marijuana via the Rhode Island Cannabis Act. The act states that employers are generally prohibited from firing, or taking disciplinary action against an employee solely for that employee's private lawful use of cannabis outside the workplace, as long as the employee has not and is not working under the influence of cannabis. The law took effect on May 25, 2022. And last, Washington, D.C. City Council passed the Cannabis Employment Protections Amendment Act of 2022. The act generally prohibits employers from refusing to hire or terminating an individual based upon 1, the individual's use of cannabis, 2, the individual's status as a medical cannabis program patient, or 3, the presence of cannabinoid metabolites in the individual's bodily fluids in a drug test without additional factors indicating impairment. The law will become effective on or after July 13th, 2023. As you can see, there's a lot of states enacting laws that provide employment protections for marijuana users. I suspect that this trend will continue into 2023. Thank you, as always, for joining me for the December 2022 compliance updates. I hope to see you again next year for some more compliance updates. Happy holidays.